button.
I can't find the button. Where is this? Oh, here it is. Okay, I need to come out of big screen. Okay, I'll go ahead now.
Yeah.
Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet. Yes.
Okay. So, wait, is it showing my other screen as well? Is it showing everything? What can you see right now?
Yeah. I can see the screen.
Can you see Slack?
No.
Okay, cool. All right, so I guess, do you want to start this part and then I'll jump in through the technical side?
Okay, yeah. So I just hope we are live everywhere and we are being watched. Even if not today, probably will be watched later on because it's being recorded. Yeah. So hello everyone. I'm Nakib and I have Denise with me. So we are from the team. Yes. Denise is the CTO. Denise, are you the CTO? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Denise leads the technical side. I take care of the strategy, governance, and the overall management of the team. Um, I am also the CEO of the project. Um, uh, we went live with our token on the 24th of December, right? From 24th of December, this is 25th of May. We are exactly completing 5 months, 5 months and 1 days. In the last 5 months, we have done extremely well. All thanks to the Almighty. We have done much better than we had expected. So everybody has their expectations. Every team has their expectations. We did much better than we expected. We were featured in Nasdaq twice as one of the most preferred project. Altcoins, among the altcoins category, of course, we are not a layer one. And later on, we rolled out two of our projects. We launched many features on those. Today we'll be discussing about the next upgrades that we'll be having on the existing products as well as the new products that will go live. So in all these months, we have been working very hard under the hood. Um, we have been expanding our team massively across all fronts. New hirings are happening almost on a bi-monthly basis. Like every 15 days, we are having a new member joining our family from across the world. We are spread across 12 to 14 countries almost at this moment, and we are working round the clock. Our entire focus is on building, and that is where we have also received concerns from the community that we are not doing enough of marketing. So that's a different aspect. We will have one more call, something like this, that would be led by a marketing team, and they will describe about the marketing efforts and what's there on the business side in the next quarter. But today this call is dedicated towards the technical roadmap, and that's why we have Denise over here. So Denise is leading a team of almost uh, 17 developers at the moment, and all of them are working on the different projects that we have as part of phase one. We have three new products that will be rolled out in the next 2 months, and yes, Denise will be giving more details on the product upgrades and the new features as well of our current launched products, that are the Souq NFT and the Sahal Wallet. Yeah. Uh, I'll let Denise take over from here to give a brief of where we are and what we have in the next quarter. Denise, over to you.
Okay. Can you confirm you can see my screen when I move it to this side? Because I have two screens. I'm not sure which one is streaming. Can
No,
you still see?
don't. I see the other screen. I see the wallpaper.
Okay, then yeah, let me just reshare because I want to look at the camera as well when I'm talking. So let's do this screen one. That's it. Okay, You can see now. Should be just
Yes.
loading.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, cool. So that was a brief intro about the project, what we've been doing, what we have achieved, and now it's time to look ahead and see what's coming in the next 6 to 7 months, I guess. So I'll start with, I'm skipping these pages because this is just sort of introduction into project. Most majority of people know what's the project about, and they keep just give a good intro as well. So upcoming products. So we have 3 main upcoming products in the next 6 months, scheduled for the next 6 months. I will go into details about each of them and how they sort of work and what feature set will be rolled out as per month. But to give you a brief overview of what's coming, the first thing is Miro. It's essentially the world's first halal staking platform or staking model that is Sharia compliant. We have been working with our SGB board for over the past 3.5 months, nearly 4 months actually, to come out with a model where we can justify rewarding of locked up tokens and how this interaction can work. So we now have a solution. It's now in a development phase. So the staking platform is called Miro. It's an acronym. It's Marhaba Incentive Rewarding Program. That's what the acronym stands for. But we'll release more details on how it's going to work, what it's going to contain, what the users will need to do, and different options within the staking model itself. Then the second big product is Liquidity Officer. So this is one of the most anticipated products for Marhaba ecosystem. It's essentially a way to generate passive income without any sort of interest, borrowing and lending strategies. So we are sort of taking a very again a different approach to how we generate passive income for our end users. And we have been talking and discussing these strategies and how to best to sort of harvest these rewards from different protocols, underlying protocols, with our SGB board for the past 4 months. And the development of this piece of product had started about a month and a half ago. So we made good leeway. You will see more details on how much progress we made in the next few slides. But this is, again, one of those products that's going to essentially allow our users to generate passive income through stable coins, through ERC20 or BEP20 tokens, subject to, so we have certain conditions that is going to be subject to. For example, if you participate in the staking program, then you would have better options, etc., early access to certain VIP strategies, etc., etc. And then the third product, which is going to be actually, it's not a product on its own, it's more of a feature within Sahal Wallet. So Sahal Wallet will have a commodity DEX. The idea is that we want to support tokenized commodities. So commodities being, of course, we will start with the most sort of anticipated commodity type, which is going to be gold and silver. So these are tokenized gold and silver. So when you buy these ERC20 tokens, you're actually buying 1 gram. 1 token is equal to 1 gram of actual gold, physical gold. It's stored in one of our partners' bullion. We have a couple of partners for this type of commodity. So this will be the first thing. And then we want to expand this. So we're building the solution so it's generic, so that we want to expand it to commodities that are tokenized in the future. So we're talking about tokenized wheat, tokenized corn, tokenized iron, and etc. But the challenge is that we cannot let the market decide the price. So usually what happens with these commodities is that there is a centralized entity who actually has these physical assets in their vaults or bullions or storages, and they set the price based on, of course, the open market in the centralized financial systems, and then they feed those prices to us. We bring that off-chain data to on-chain, and then we allow people to transact through the pricing code that is retrieved from our partners directly. But Marhaba won't be charging any sort of fees, at least for the initial time. But in the future, the models may change, so you would be eligible to buy these commodities directly from Sahal Wallet, and you will see it appearing in the wallet in the next couple of months. So those are the high-level overview of what's coming. So we'll now dig into a bit more detail about what's coming in the next 6 months. Well, this is a high roadmap, so it's going to show for the next year and a half or 2 years, and then we'll dig deeper into each specific product. So what we achieved so far, we obviously released Souq NFT version 1. We released Sahal version 1. These are bare bones skeletons. So we are aware that some of the features are light, and it's sort of foundational level of setup for us. That was the goal anyway. We wanted to release the product and then keep building on top of it. So which is what we've been doing for the past 5 months. So Q3, we have a few things coming up. So we have Liquidity House version 1, which I spoke about initially. We have backend upgrades, which is mostly related to event-driven architecture. This allows our systems to perform much better under heavy load, and it allows it to scale up with the demand that's going to hopefully come over the next 2 years. And of course, we've integrated Souq with Polygon, BSC now, and Avalanche is coming next. Sahal is integrated with the same chain list, and Avalanche is coming to Sahal as well in the next few weeks. So that's Q3. That should keep us busy. And then Q3 also has another additional product coming up, which is the Halal Stake and Miro, plus the commodity DEX. So with these products combined, as you can see, we've had a very productive last 5 months, and now we have 2 more months to sort of wrap up Q3, get auditing done, and then push the products out there. So that's Q3, and then going into Q4, this is where we start now really sort of building up that extra feature set that's going to set us apart from the rest of the competition. So we're talking about V2 Liquidity Harvester. I will tell you the difference between V2 and V1 in the later slides. So we have V2 Liquidity Harvester coming up in Q4 of this year. And then we have version 2 of NFT Marketplace, which is going to be filled with a lot of features that's going to set us apart from the rest of the competition, as well as sort of allow us to cater to our target audience better and bring on board more artists from around the globe that are interested in working with Marhaba and Souq in a full partnership. Then Q1 next year, we're looking to approach governance. So governance through DAO. Of course, DAOs take time. So we want the market to mature up a bit. We want our target audience. We want our current user base to understand the concept behind Marhaba, what it's trying to achieve, how it's going to work, and then start slowly giving that power to the community through our tokens. So the more tokens you hold, essentially more power you will have within the DAO itself through voting and mechanics, etc. So this is one of our biggest goals. We want to achieve this because we actually want to phase out as the team behind this project and become a token holder rather than a project owner. So we are all on equal basis with the community, and we can direct the project all together and start open sourcing code, bringing in code from external contributors, etc. So that's a big part of the plan. And then Q2, this is on contingency that governance and DAO transition goes well. So if it goes well, we want to bring in the charity side of things, so zero knowledge charity integration platform, where we will partner up with charities all around the globe who are searching for crypto partners to accept crypto donations. And this will be done through ZK so that your privacy is always preserved and nobody really knows who sent what amount went to where, etc. So it's completely untraceable. Of course, this is it's part of sort of giving charitable donations, in my opinion, anyway, that whatever you give, whatever you help, should be sort of preserved under a veil, not sort of boasted around on social media. Which, again, this platform ticks that box. And this is one of the big goals because we want the project to actually help people in different socioeconomic status, then sort of serve for the same people that is in the developed nations. Because Marhaba as a project started with the hope that we bring a large population of the globe into cryptocurrencies, regardless of their background. And this is in line with that goal. Then Q3 2023, interest-free crypto financing. Again, one of the bigger products that we want to release. It's because borrowing lending today is a key part of DeFi. It's a key part of financial systems in general, DeFi or traditional finance. And we want to allow our target audience to be able to utilize and collateralize the assets that they already hold to finance their next goal without having to, like, for example, sell whatever they hold to basically have enough cash to go on and finance their next venture, whatever that might be, whether that's taking part in an IDO or paying off a debt, etc. So we want to provide that platform, and it has to be interest free. So the models are being worked on right now. It's again a very lengthy process because it has to be interest free, of course, to be Sharia compliant, and that precursor or requirement is a tough one, especially on the borrowing and lending one, because you need to balance things out. What can you give to lenders? What can you give to borrowers? Why would someone borrow if they're not going to? Sorry, why would someone lend if they're not going to earn interest and add on top of it? But we have a couple of models which actually finds a good balance between the lenders and borrowers, and we think we can achieve a good result. So the discussions are ongoing. It's still early. Preliminary research is happening. Discussions with SGB, but Q3 is the time where we want to start at least going on testnet with this product, get some of our loyal user base to start testing the product on testnet. Then Q4 2023 is the launchpad. The launchpad is essentially it does what it says on the tin. It's a launchpad to launch new projects, as long as the project you're launching is Sharia compliant, i.e. the project is not to do with gambling or any sort of indecency, then you could apply just like any other launchpad. And the funds that are actually brought together, of course, we want to have some sort of a complete Sharia compliant financing model. So we will have the launchpad launch through us, where we will vet the project to make sure it's Sharia compliant. And then those who are participating would be essentially MRHB stakers and MRHB users who have the first priority in the queue, and they can start to buy into IDOs and ICOs or any future terminology that may come about by 2023. And then the last phase of the project, I would call it, is 2024 Q1, is migrating to our own layer one, meaning we will either migrate. So we haven't made the decision. Initially, the decision as per the white paper was that we will become a parachain on Polkadot. But looking at the recent auctions and how things are progressing Polkadot side the ecosystem, it doesn't make too much sense for us to try to compete and get billions of dollars worth of crypto sort of pledged on behalf of us, and then reward those pledges with MRHB to get a slot as a parachain. Rather than that, we can probably look at Avalanche subnets, or we can look at Cosmos-based chains where we spin off our own blockchain. But the decision has been made. It hasn't been made, so it's a bit too early to speak about that. But that's one of the last phases of the project to become our own chain. And then once it does, with all its products and DeFi applications all around, sort of one-stop solution for every Marhaba user, then we want to make Marhaba the actual go-to chain for any future Islamic projects, because we will build the base, and then everyone who comes after that can just sort of dip in and start building applications that are Sharia compliant. The Sharia compliancy at blockchain level, of course, it's going to be pretty much nearly impossible to control, but there will be sort of approved applications or Sharia compliant marked applications, which would be marked by the SGB board. So we want to have some sort of overview of what projects are marked as Sharia compliant, even on our L1. Also, one more thing to point back and go back to governance is that the SGB board today is made up of 3 members within the core Marhaba team. But once the governance kicks in and we have a smooth process, we actually want to bring on external SGB members through governance, so through a voting mechanism. If there are certain muftis or if there are certain external Sharia experts, then our community can pop a proposal to say, can we include this mufti or can we include this sheikh in our SGB board? And the community will vote. If the community vote is over 51%, then we can execute the action and the member can become a SGB. But there needs to be some sort of voting proposal in place so that the whole process is not corrupted to the core. Okay, so that's that slide. Nikib, do you want to add anything before I move on?
No, we will discuss about the individual products obviously in the next slides. So there are certain questions that have been asked by the communities that has been forwarded to me by the team. So I will ask you on behalf of them, and
Sure.
hopefully we'll be receiving more questions as well during the live chat. So yeah, nothing as of now, but I'll be asking us when we move on to the next slides.
Okay, cool. I'll move on then. So this slide shows the future of Sahal Wallet itself. So what we accomplished so far is on the left, and it's obviously live and it's in the application, so you could go on and check that it's actually there. So May, what we've been doing is token display adjustments. So token display adjustments, it's a very high level way of putting things, but it's essentially entire backend upgrade. So what we're doing right now, we're building a Sharia admin portal for our SGB board, where they can log in through their MetaMask wallets and use their cryptographic signature to review tokens that are in the top 100. The top 100 changes on a daily basis. So what we do, we consume it every night, put it into database, and then our Sharia board reviews it. And then every day we keep adding more and more tokens. So over time, we will have hundreds of thousands of tokens. So thousands of tokens, not hundreds of thousands, thousands of tokens reviewed over a period. And once these tokens are reviewed, then we basically have built a Sharia compliant token list, which we can then go on to use in all of our products, including Souq, Sahal, interest-free bond, etc. So that's actually a whole API being built. The API is designed to serve internal services, so internal backends, but it's also being designed to have business-to-business integration, because this Sharia compliant data is actually quite precious. In that a lot of external parties, I know, for example, Seller Network, for example, they are interested in Sharia solutions because Sharia has a potential. um, I know RSK are interested in. RSK is a DeFi that built on top of Bitcoin. RSK is interested in Sharia compliant DeFi, so they're going to need this data. And this is another revenue stream potentially for us to, of course, commercialize this data and then somehow reflect that commercializing revenue stream into the MRHB token itself. So that's a whole upgrade going on at the moment in May. Then in June, we have a couple of things. So we have price charts coming to Sahal Wallet. We have Avalanche chain integration. Avalanche chain integration might actually come in very early June. So you could have actually released it this week, but we're just doing a few more tests. So it's nearly ready. Then we have NFT integrations, ability to view and see your NFTs, interact with them within Sahal. So that should be in June as well. And then in July, we have the main thing, which is going to be Bitcoin integration. Bitcoin integration will actually entail not just the main layer one Bitcoin integration, but we want to integrate Lightning Network as well. So Lightning Network will be another integration that we want to have on there. Then we want to integrate Phantom Chain because there's a lot of DeFi activity going on this, and we want to leverage that through Sahal, which eventually means we'll leverage it through. We'll leverage it through. Sorry, I'm really sorry. Nakib, can you just carry on? My door is knocking. I think it's my family.
No problem. So while Denise is back, yeah. So these are like issues of working at home. No problem. So we just had a very interesting news that came like 20 minutes before we started the show, and it is that we got elected in the Global Brand Awards as the best Islamic crypto platform globally. So this is a global recognition that we received. It's just 20 minutes back we received it from our PR team, and this has been an excellent achievement for all of us. One of the first to come in. We will soon see more details about it when the PR team actually releases the details. So yeah, there have been various categories, and we have been voted on a global category. So when this would be released, you will see the details. There are regional and country-wise categories as well, and there is a global category. So we made it to the global category of the best Islamic crypto platform. Uh, that was like very humble moment for all of us, working this hard all these few months. So yeah, congratulations to all of us. Congratulations to all of you. When we have decentralized team, when we have community supporting us from all across the globe. So this is everybody's project. We are the builders of the project. That's it. But the project actually belongs to all of you. So yeah, congratulations to all of you guys. Very soon we'll be releasing the entire details of this. Probably in a day or two it will go out, and we'll have details about this. Yes, Denise.
Cool. Sorry about that. I'm back. So Phantom chain integration, and then we have RSK. RSK, we would actually be announcing a formal partnership because we want to do more than RSK, just chain integration. So wait to hear more on that. And then we have a very unique feature, which is reversible transactions within Sahal Wallet. We know it's a issue where people sometimes send tokens to the wrong wallet, or it's a mistake. They want to reverse it. Obviously, on the blockchain, you can't reverse it, but we do have a solution that sits between the layer one and the wallet, and allows two parties to confirm a transaction, which makes it reversible. So we have a POC, proof of concept on that's developed, and soon in July we'll start integrating that POC into full-fledged feature on Sahal. Then commodity tokenization solution. So we spoke about this earlier. This is going to be a built-in feature within Sahal. So first we will start with a gold token and a silver token, which represents 1 gram of gold, 1 gram of silver. Then we will expand this solution to start supporting a range of commodities as long as they are tokenized on the blockchain, and the party that's tokenizing it is trusted. So there will be like a vetting process that's done by us before we onboard partners on that particular feature. Then August onwards. So
On the commodity change, I would like to add. So this is one of the most exciting product features that would be coming up, and we are looking forward to this as one of the most important gateways for the non-crypto community to onboard to the crypto community. I mean, it is very exciting that you can actually buy real gold, real metal, real silver through crypto, and you can actually redeem it. So our initial partners would be Ansley Bullion in Australia and Minted in UK. They are regulated entities, and what happens is when you buy, for example, 1 gram of gold in the vault, it sits in the vault. It becomes liquid because it's represented by a token, which is easily tradable on the dexes. But if you want to redeem the physical gold, you can actually place an order. So if you own, for example, 10 gram of gold, 100 gram of gold. So I mean, I'm giving this grams as per my own standard. If I talk about you guys, probably you'll be having tons. So if you want to order 1 ton of gold physically, you can actually place that order, and Ansley Bullion or Minted or whoever the partner is will actually ship this physical gold to you. So you can choose to keep it in your possession. You can choose to keep it in the possession of their vaults as well, as it's done globally. And obviously, when we move up ahead, we are talking about bringing utilities for the real economy, where we would be tokenizing a lot of other products, real world assets, which becomes easy. So what we are building right now is the infrastructure. We are building the capabilities for this to happen. So once we have the infrastructure ready, onboarding the clients becomes easy, because we are already starting with gold and silver as the standard. Yeah, Denise.
Cool. All right, so August onwards. So within August, we want to actually integrate Liquidity Hoster version 1 into Sahal. So once you enter Sahal, by this time you could obviously trade and buy tokens on different chains, but now you would be able to have the ability to actually start earning a passive income through Liquidity Hoster. Liquidity Hoster will have a direct integration with Sahal, but it will also have a web app, which means you can just browse to it through your browser as you would to any website. Then we're going to start wallet localization, so translation into a few languages, starting with our communities, of course, Arabic, Farsi, Turkish, French. It would be some of the, and Russian, sorry, and Russian would be some of the leading languages that we will be introducing into Sahal soon. Then we want to have ZK sync chain integration. ZK is, as you may all know, it's a layer 2 for Ethereum rollup, ZK rollup. They are our official partners, so we will announce integration, and this integration will actually reflect onto Liquidity Harvester, as we believe ZK is going to become one of the dominant chains for L2 DeFi productivity. We are going to introduce some sort of gamification to the wallet itself, so you will be able to earn rewards. You will be able to check in, collect items, and then it allows our user base to keep checking in on on Sahal Wallet and make sure they are up to date with the latest features, etc. So that's what mining tab is. We are going to introduce a referral program. So the referral program would be full-fledged, where both referrer and referee will get rewards for their work in spreading the word. And some of the other features that we have is multiple wallets. So you may have seen this in wallets like Trust Wallet, where you can create multiple wallets within a wallet. So that's coming. And then once Miro staking is ready, Miro staking is looking out to be ready around July. So once it's ready in August, we want to integrate Miro staking within Sahal, so you don't have to leave Sahal to stake and start earning MRHB rewards. And lastly, for August is Arbitrum integration. Again, another L2, which is already quite active and has a lot of liquidity. Therefore, it's enough of a reason for us to integrate and start reaping the rewards from that chain as well. So that's how at the moment. That's what's going to come in the next 4 to 5 months, and then this will wrap up Sahal version 1 essentially. Well, nearly version 2 as well. And then we have a lot more features coming up, but it's too early to talk about those right now. So that's why we have listed what's set in stone at the moment. So I'll move on to the next product.
Before we move on, let's Ahmed, do we have any questions related to this Sahel wallet from the community?
I was thinking we can do the AMAs and all those questions at the ending. Keep this thing going in the flow. But if you want, I can ask some questions right now. If that's the
I think
okay,
let's keep it at
going
the end.
Because we do have one question, but it's not regarded to the product. It's regarded more towards the translation. But yeah, but don't worry. There's some questions that we've gone from various locations, and I've already accumulated them. So we'll do them at the ending.
Okay, cool. Then I carry on. So Souq NFT. So on the left is what we accomplished. Of course, Souq version 1 is live. It's integrated with Polygon. Oh, Polygon integration is written twice actually. That should be once. So Polygon integration is live, so you could actually mint 721s on Polygon right now, as well as BSC. Generative art tools is live. So what generative art tools is basically if you have layers, like as if you're using Photoshop, if you have layers of certain shapes or certain images, you can bring those layers into Souq directly and then generate art based off those layers. We need to actually create a tutorial on generative art, so watch out for that tutorial in the next few weeks, I guess. So Souq NFT Sharia Coins API, which is what I mentioned earlier about building a database of Sharia compliant tokens. So this is listed under Souq NFT because it's actually part of the Souq NFT API backend APIs. In the future, it might become its own separate API, but for now, this is sufficient. So we are building that API, which is going to be obviously business to consumer and B2B business to business integrations as well. All subject to MRHB, holding enough MRHB. Then we are building a Sharia admin panel, which is going to be a key piece of work that we need to do so that our SGB board has good oversight of what's coming in terms of NFTs onto the platform, and they have a way to effectively communicate with artists. If certain NFT is not Sharia compliant, they could give them justified reasons in detail and then get a reply back, etc. NFT reporting. So this is, as far as I know, it's live. So you can actually start reporting NFTs if you think it's not Sharia compliant, and then our SGB board will re-review based on these complaints. Yeah, so that's one. That's another feature that's gone live. In June, we have big revamp of Souq itself overall. So June and July, actually, June and July is going to be a big month for Souq NFT. So we are upgrading our NFT smart contracts and re-implementing some parts of it. We are using some of the latest EIP proposals like 71A, 71R. Of course, we're going to integrate the 1155. We're looking into diamond proxy patterns to make the contracts upgradable so that we don't have to go through this pain process again. And of course, once you upgrade the smart contracts, you have to upgrade the backend, you have to upgrade the front end to match the new flows, etc. So you can expect more smoother minting process, a cheaper minting process, and in general, more scalable minting NFT Souq smart contracts in general. So we have looked at things like Seaport, which is, of course, just being released by OpenSea, which should make our smart contracts future-proof. And then in June, we also have Avalanche integration. We do our chain integrations back-to-back. So we do Sahal first, and then we do Souq because it just makes sense. So since Sahal can connect to Souq. So Avalanche integration will come to Souq as well in June. And then in July, we have Phantom integration. Again, it's in line with our plan for Sahal because Phantom is coming to Sahal as well in July. We have Fiat on ramp through our partners MoonPay and Ramp Network. That allows people to buy NFTs directly using their credit cards rather than requiring them to have certain crypto. We have things, we have sort of UX. Well, before that, I should actually address the last point, UI revamp. UI revamp is actually a whole massive piece of work that we're doing right now. So it has already started. We are rebranding and redesigning the entire UI UX for both Souq and Sahal. We want to modernize it, give it a fresh look, make it a bit more lightweight. So you can expect the whole rebrand and whole change of UI UX on both Souq and Sahal in July. And then after we do that, we're going to look at things like suggestive searching, reserved sales, which are going to put us on par with the giants like OpenSea in terms of feature set. And then additionally, once we achieve all this, this is one of the first pieces of features that is going to start setting us apart from our competitors is GAN-based art tools. So GAN is a AI generative art tooling way of generating art. So it's two computers or two models essentially competing against each other to generate art based on certain keywords, certain background of image, etc., to generate something very unique based on AI. So that's another tool that we're going to introduce, and this will allow people to directly generate NFTs within Souq based on AI. August onwards, so I would say NFT unique checker is a big piece of work again. So this will probably take us all the way till December of this year. So we'll probably start in August and then run till December, go into testing phase, etc. NFT uniqueness checker. So the idea behind this is that we want to index all NFTs across all chains as much as we can on a daily basis and hash them pixel by pixel, and do have a index database that allows us to basically directly query if an NFT is a copy of an already minted NFT. If it is, Souq will just outright reject the minting process and not allow the user to mint a rip-off NFT. We are in touch with one of our partners in regards to this application so that we can co-develop it and we could open up to public through API usage. Again, probably going to be subject to MRHB, having enough MRHB to actually interact with the AP uniqueness checker. And then the other feature that we want to introduce to add another layer on top of the uniqueness checker is just a reverse image lookup, which essentially searches the web that it's not just a direct ripoff of an image stock image that was posted online. So that's Souq. That takes us all the way to December, August plus. It's a lot of features, it's a lot of work, but things are going well right now. And yeah, we'll take questions at the end, I guess. Anything else you guys want to add before I move on?
No, we can move on.
Cool.
I think Denise, if you want to add a touch of
Sorry.
sorry, I think my internet glitched. Of discussions on metaverse, because there's a lot of people who are asking about a little bit more on metaverse. Are we looking into it? And also, if there's capabilities of, because you were talking about Souq, of the play to earn and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I don't want to give away too much. We are doing something with Metaverse. We are developing an NFT project. So you will hear more from us. This is one of the key reasons why we actually integrated with Polygon, because Polygon is very good with Metaverse, and the tooling around it. There's a lot of integration with Polygon, as opposed to Avalanche, for example. Avalanche is more oriented towards DeFi in its current status. So this is why we integrate with Polygon. So you can expect some metaverse related things to come out of these integrations once we are complete with the initial feature set that we have set out here. Okay, so I'll go into Liquidity Hamster in its current form. What's happening, and when can we see the live product? So in May, we've started development. I think it was around mid-April, well, after 4 months of discussion with sort of the SGB board, making sure what we're doing, what we're trying to do, what strategies we have in mind to generate passive income is Sharia compliant. We've got the green light. So since then, it's been all development. Version 1 development includes proxy contracts, zapping contracts, and strategy development. So each vault will have multiple strategies. And then we'll actually open up these vaults to, of course, we'll open up the entire code base as open source because it's just going to be smart contracts. And then what we have in mind is that once Miro comes out, for example, we will have external or community contributors raising proposals to include X strategy in Liquidity House version 1 or version 2, subject to voting with MRHB holders. If it passes, then yeah, we'll go ahead and integrate that strategy into Liquidity House. So this is what we have in mind. So in May, we've been working hard on that. In June, we want to actually take the next step and start integrating Miro and Liquidity House, the staking model, because we want to have some sort of communication between the two products. And so we want to set some requirements that if you are a Miro staker, for example, you may have access to Liquidity House earlier than rest, or if you have a certain tier, you may have access to certain strategies as opposed to others having access to generic strategies. So this is what Miro's staking integration is all about in June. And then, of course, as part of the normal development within blockchain, we will do comprehensive testing. We will deploy onto testnet, make sure people, we might even call upon some of the community members to go on testnet and test it for us. And then finally, we'll run it through audits through our partners, Hacken and other partners that we are speaking to right now to make sure everything checks out and there are no security concerns. Then in July, the version 2 of Liquidity House will start. This will build on top of version 1, but it doesn't mean that it's going to replace version 1. So version 1 will coexist with version 2. The difference between the two is that version 1 is more manual. So it depends and it sort of nudges the user to take actions, but it doesn't take actions. The contract doesn't take actions on its own. It doesn't move your funds. It doesn't look for the best strategies. It gives you that option. And if you select it and execute it, then it will allow you. Whereas version 2 is more hands-off. So you drop your money into a vault and we do the rest. We automate the moving of funds from one vault to another, finding the best strategies. Of course, bearing in mind that our strategies and our choice of actions are always Sharia compliant, meaning we won't have any strategies that's going to be like borrowing from Avi, lending it to Compound, and etc. It's completely different. And August onwards, again, the same process. So Miro staking will be integrated into version 2, testing and audits, going through the same process as we did for version 1. And then hopefully by the end of August, we should be live with version 2. depend on how quick the audits come back and how quick we can fix things. So I think that covers liquidity harvester. And now the big piece, another big piece, I guess, the Miro staking. So MRHB incentivization and reward offerings program is what Miro stands for. It's again being worked on by an internal team who have spent a lot of hours debating with SGB, who have tried many different things to make it Sharia compliant and find a solution that is truly Sharia compliant, not just sugar coated to make it Sharia compliant, if that makes sense. So May has been all design and architecture. So we are currently basically putting together this architecture and structure of how smart contracts should be, how they should interact, what sort of gas optimizations we could go for. Is it actually deployable code? Can it perform at scale, etc. So once these are done, which is pretty much done now, the development for the staking contract has actually began this week on Monday. So the staking token contract development, it says June, but we actually started this week. And same with the voting contract, actually, they both started this week. But we still aim to have them ready within June. And then July would be testing and audits. And then as part of June process, we want to actually start looking and building the UI side of this Miro staking program, because it has several components. It has like staking component, it has Sharia component, it has a voting, a proposal component. So these are quite heavy pieces of UI based development work that needs to be done. And we want to start this well in advance before the contracts are sort of complete. So that will start as well. And then July would be essentially just testing and auditing, because auditing itself takes about 2 to 3 weeks. And then it comes back, another week spent to fix it, then probably another week for it to be re-audited. Once that comes back, and then in August, we want to introduce tiers and NFT introduction to Miro staking. So Miro will have tiers, depending on how much MRHB you stake. Within each tier, you will have a certain privileges. You have certain privileges. You have certain positives for which are basically incentives for you to stake longer, lock longer. But of course, in return, you must carry out certain things. And then apart from the tiers, we actually have a whole concept of NFTs that we may potentially introduce, where we will mint a MRHB collection, sell them in Souq with MRHB token itself. And then if you have that MRHB, for example, maybe you'll get early access to Liquidity Harvester version 2. So these are the type of things that we're thinking about. The NFT side is a little fuzzy. We're not sure if it's a good way to sort of approach it, or sort of fence the applications and say you're allowed to come in, you're not allowed to come in. But it's under discussion. But tiers are definitely set. So we have tiers, we have features, we have perks within each tier at the moment. And as the ecosystem develops, the list of privileges for each tier will carry on growing. So initially, we can obviously offer what we have live, but as products go live, that list gets bigger and bigger. So if you look up for 12 months, 2 years, then you can expect your privileges to grow over that time as more products come up, and as more, and you should be able to reap the rewards as more fees are generated as well throughout the ecosystem. So Miro, Liquidity Harvester, two of these combined are, I would say, biggest two products over the next 6 months. It should help us sort of take some sell pressure off the token itself, and then introduce new utilities, and start generating some sort of fees, so that the system becomes sustainable in the long run. So that's, I think, all of it. Yeah, that covers all of it for the next 6 months. So Nakib, do you want to take it from here? What's the process?
Before that, I see we have many viewers here from different places. So we're live on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You guys are watching, but you guys are not liking the YouTube video. So if you like it, it helps the algorithms. So our video goes out and more people see it, and the more people see it, the more they know about the project. So let's everybody make it a mandatory thing, like just for 2 seconds, just share, like the current live that's going on, and share it on your social media and all that stuff. So yes, if you guys have done that, then that's perfect. If not, then do that for us. Back to you, Nikki. Sorry. We need to do
Yeah.
those things.
So Denise lightly touched on the rebranding aspect. So rebranding is a massive exercise that we are doing. So right now, if you've seen, like we have a very simple to use UI on the Sahel, and that was our primary requirement as well. This is something that I have always asserted on, that our UI would be very minimalistic, not many features, not many things to look into, so that the new people who actually come onto the wallet, they do not get messed up between different buttons or different different features, different jargons that usually crypto wallets have. So that was a primary requirement. But now, since we have considerable amount of user base on a wallet, we are growing rapidly as well. And as more and more features would be added, the wallet would be much more utilized for a lot many aspects, because the intention that we have, that if somebody is actually on the wallet, he should not leave the wallet for any other reason, for any other requirement that he has from crypto. So the wallet will be, I mean, the whole roadmap of the wallet will cover and will reach up to a point where it is a complete ecosystem in itself. So everything that you need from the world of crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, you will be able to access from the wallet itself. So this is a gradual process how we are moving up, and Sahel Wallet would always be the gateway to the entire Marhaba ecosystem, which means that everything that is being built and that would ever be built would be accessible from the wallet. So to keep everything in mind, we are going through an entire rebranding of the platform. We will have new color schemes, we'll have new UIs, new buttons, new look and feel. It will have much more fresher feel than what we have right now. Yeah, so all of this we will be seeing in the next 2 months as well. So don't be surprised when one day when you open your wallet, you see a different color and a different kind of user experience on it. But yeah, it will not be a surprise for sure. We will have a proper campaign around it to inform about the launch, as well as there would be professional guided videos which we are lacking right now, to ensure that people are moving across the platform and using the different services in the right way. They are guided properly. People coming from different backgrounds, different languages, because like we are currently having a user base in 106 countries, as per the last data set that we received. So yeah, we cannot have every language of the world as part of it, but I mean, inshallah, maybe that would be the future. But we would be making things so simple that it would be understandable by most of the people out there, probably everyone. So that's about the rebranding thing. I have few questions to Denise that we have received from a
Do we
community.
need the slides before we move on to questions?
I don't think we need a slide. They are like generic questions. One of the most important questions, Denise, that we have been consistently receiving all these months is about the utility of the tokens. So right now, as we know, um, I mean, before you start, Denise, I mean, this is something that I would like to say to the community as well. Uh, I don't know how many of you have been part of crypto projects right from the beginning, have been part of the building team as well. So usually, how crypto projects differentiates itself from standard non-crypto projects is that, I mean, every startup, they come up with an idea, they build a prototype POC, then they raise funds, and then they go for expansion. So how crypto projects work, usually, not everyone, usually is that they first raise funds and then they start building, because there is a huge amount of shortage of talent, and building in crypto and blockchain is extremely expensive. So this is how the process is followed, which means that when the token actually launches, very few projects actually have immense token utility from day one. So it takes time for the projects to settle down and build useful products around the tokens, which adds more utility to it. So this is where exactly we were focusing. So Denise, now the question is like, when we have new products coming up, Miro, Liquidity House, the complex and everything, how will the token utility increase? How would a Marhaba token holder benefit, and will everybody benefit? Or because right now, as you know, the markets are not good. So I mean, why would somebody keep holding to the tokens? I mean, what benefit would they get if they keep holding the tokens?
So Marhaba in its current form is lacking utilities. We are aware of this. This is why we're building the products that we're building, and we're very busy currently in development team. So every new product that we build, every new product that we introduce is going to be subject to MRHB usage one way or another. So let's take, for example, Miro staking. The whole idea behind Miro staking is that we reward who's loyal with perks and incentives. And in return, what the project benefits is that a large portion of the token supply um, hopefully will be taken off the circulation, so that majority of our loyal followers are actually going to be locking up the tokens in return for perks, and that should help the token price in general, right? But that's not a promise. I'm not saying the token price is going to go up. I'm not saying 90% of the token circulation is going to be locked up, but in general, that's what staking is. So that's one thing. And then we have, of course, introduction of new platform, new APIs, which essentially are subject to having MRHB. So you need to have MRHB to be able to consume this data. You need to have MRHB to be able to integrate with our product. So if you're, let's say, a third-party crypto project, let's just call it X project, and you want to offer Sharia compliant way of generating passive income, you can just come to us and we integrate with Liquidity Officer directly, as long as, for example, you have MRHB to pay for the usage on a monthly basis. We are building a token server, for example, that is going to serve Sharia compliant data, which is precious data. That's going to be subject to again a subscription model through MRHB. And on top of all this, one of the major things for holding MRHB long term is that once we transition into a DAO and governance model, you can use your tokens to direct the platform. So raise proposals, vote on them, and if you consider that the intention behind the project team is to phase out and to give the power back to the people, the only way to do this is through the tokens. So the more tokens you have, the more power you're going to have within the DAO itself. And lastly, once the project generates fees, we have a model where we recirculate those fees not into the project team's pockets, but into Marhaba token holders. So essentially, by holding an MRHB token, you're holding quote unquote equity, because you're going to be able to earn fees by so whatever fees platform generates, it will go back to the single treasury wallet or single treasury smart contract, and then from there it will be dispersed to all MRHB Miro stakers, for example. So the token is the backbone of the project. The only way to make good use of it and the only way to sort of appreciate the whole token is to see the roadmap and see what's coming and think long term, because crypto markets have these downturns, they have these ups and downs, and remember, everything that goes up must come down, and vice versa. So keep that in mind.
Sounds good.
So this means that if somebody is somebody is owning or in a possession of a huge chunk of Marhaba tokens, he would be in a position to receive a share of the revenue that the platform generates, right? So which means the more tokens I hold, the more share of revenue I get. I mean, it's almost in the, you won't call it equity, but yeah, that is like being part
It's
of
the
the
closest
company
example,
itself. That's almost like being part of the company. Yeah, that is exciting. I mean, this is yeah. I won't give any financial advices, but yeah.
Okay, we'll push it to the questions. Okay, guys. So, in regards to the presentation and the framework of the next 6 months that's been presented, if you haven't had the chance to watch it, you can go watch this from the beginning. This is already recorded, and you can share it with your friends after. But now we're going to go into the AMA, and there's a lot of questions asked from email, from social media, directly on Telegram. So I've kind of compiled them. But I'm going to start off directly with what's being asked as live. So, live, we have a question right now. I think this would be for you, Denise. Is the current MRHB LP staking terminated because it's still accumulating? What does that mean? And is it what's the answer for that?
Yeah. So the LP program is coming to an end. We made an announcement a couple of times. So the announcement was that it would end either in end of June or when the token balance is depleted from the smart contract. The token balance is coming to close to depletion. So we have about I think 300,000 MRHB left on the contract. So this is why we advise people to withdraw by 25th, which is today, because if you wait till last minute and everyone withdraws at the same time, then everyone's going to take what's left of the MRHB balance. And if you're one of the last ones, you're not going to have any tokens to take. So it's better to
Mhm.
take it out now than wait for last minute. It is still accumulated at a much slower rate. So the number of rewards per block has been reduced from 2.2 MRHB to 0.1. So
Mhm.
you are still accumulating. But again, my recommendation is that you remove your LP tokens. And even after today, the contract is open, so you can remove your LP tokens whenever you want. It's not like we're going to keep your LP tokens.
Okay. So there you go. That is the answer for that. So remove your LP tokens. All right, next question. So we have a brother who's actually from Palestine, and he's brought up a very good idea. It's not a question; it's an idea. So we'll take that, and we'll reach out to you on email or something after. Or I'll recommend reach out to us on business@marhabadefi.com, and then that will be redirected to the right person on the team, and we'll manage those queries accordingly. So it says, do you have entry level guides for crypto and Marhaba newbies at the moment? I guess that's a question for me. And yes, we do have some guides, with not in detail guides. We are working with developing a full FAQ, documentation with guides. It is in work in progress. But if you want just basic guides with the Marhaba specific products and features, that is on our YouTube channel, and also on the website. There's some guides around that. If there's specific guides that you're looking at, do let us know in the Telegram, and that question or that guide request will trickle down to one of the marketing team members. All right. Are you guys worried about the possibility of Binance Smart Chain uh, going down like Terra one day? This is a good question, Denise. Oh,
I
Naveed.
will reply to this. Number
Yeah,
one, the
go ahead.
Terra chain hasn't gone down. I don't know. This is wrong information. The Terra chain hasn't gone down. The Terra
Mhm,
chain exists,
mhm,
and what has gone down is the Terra project in itself. I mean the token, the money. The
mhm,
money is finished. So the blockchain stays the unless and until every validator of the network decides to halt it. Although Terra has seen twice network being halted, but then they resumed it again. I think they are going for a fork. This is in spite of 90% of the community voted in against the fork. I think the Terra Foundation is going ahead with the fork, renaming the existing chain to be Terra Classic and Luna Classic, and the new one to be Luna. But Binance, it can go down. Anything can happen. This is one of the reasons as why we are migrating to L1 as part of our phase 3 roadmap. We will. I mean, we definitely have challenges um, in currently being a DApp, being a set of DApps, which we are not able to overcome. So that is one of the reason why our product team, Denise in itself, has been enforcing about having a self-sustainable chain as from day one of the roadmap. I mean, when the project wasn't live as well, since then we had this in the roadmap. Yeah, I mean, we this is definitely under our radar. This is one of the risk factors that we have to consider. And then again, this is world, man. I mean, anything can go down. I mean, you and me can go down as well. So, but we'll try our best to be as sustained as possible.
Okay. I guess Denise, you want to add a 2 cent to that, or he kind of covered it?
So yeah, I mean, just a couple of things. So I'm not a big fan of BSC itself in general. So the only reason why we chose BSC initially was that because majority of our target audience are on BSC. They trade on BSC. They find it easier to interact with BSC. So this is why we started the project on BSC. But in the long run, we do want to come off BSC as soon as possible. We do want to run our own L1 as per roadmap. And I mean, the question about Terra is, I mean, Terra is just Terra. We all got wrecked, including myself. But we learn.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, we learn and move on. So as long I don't see us having the same sort of issues in the future because one, we're not really looking for to build a stable coin, and two, even if we stay on BSC has its problems, but it doesn't have that type of problems. That type of problem is a whole level of things to consider.
Okay, fair enough. Our friend Mujib Rahman Nuristani also asked a few other questions, but I don't think they're directly linked with Marhaba. So, with all due respect, I'm gonna skip those just for now because we have many other questions. There's a question from Ahmed Bilal. It's Nakiba. This might be for all of us. Really, price has gone down to half a pre-sale price. So, if we fail to capture the market you guys aim for, what benefit do the seed and pre-seed investors have? And because they are waiting for a long time in the vesting period. So I can kind of talk about this a little bit, or do you want to kind of go off, Nakib, in regards to this?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So what's that?
That's a business question. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. So you guys have to understand one thing for sure. With all these prices and its fluctuations, a lot of projects have suffered from the recent fall. And I do understand that there's a lot of pre-seed investors and seed investors who have invested at a specific point. But you have to understand if tomorrow the token goes up to about 70 cents, right? Then you're still in a form of success. But it's not about that. There's few angles to this. You have to understand when you invest in a project in the long term, when you believe it's at a discounted price, and that's why seed investors are seed investors or pre-sale investors or pre-sale investors, you are kind of signing up for that risk. And then while the market is down, that's out of our control because the market is down for everybody, and there's a crash for everybody. So one, you invested at a risk that you understood that this is a long-term hold and the market could go up or down. Two, we still have about 2 years to go or less, actually less than that now, like 1 year and a few, or like 8 months to go in regards of your vesting. So tomorrow it might go boom up, and then you feel like you're in profit, or it'll crash even more. We don't know how the market. It's all on supply and demand. If the market feels like it's something to be involved with, they're going to put in their money. If they don't feel like something to be involved with, they won't put in their money. We are working our hardest to bring out high utility based projects and products. Demand is there, so the price does go up. But this is part of when you're investing, it's something you have to kind of keep in mind. Keep your 2 cents, or should I go to the next question? Okay.
To Marhaba.
We have a compliment here. Actually, we had a few compliments, but here we believe in the project. Excellent tools. Inshallah, the project is a successful. Thanks a lot, brother. There you go. Let's kind of show this to the world also. Appreciate it. I think this is coming from the Russian region. Much love. Okay, so questions that are coming from a few of our investors also and through email. We had a question in regards to staking on the Sahal wallet. When can we see that? What does that look like for the future of Marhaba?
So that was part of the roadmap presentation. So you should be able to start staking in about August through Sahal, as well as the web app itself.
Super exciting. Super exciting. Okay. There are some questions in regards to E2E offerings for Islamic banks, like our project working with E2Es with other Islamic banks or other Islamic institutions. Is that in the roadmap? Do we see something like that coming up? And not necessarily just banks, but also kind of working with organizations such as universities and institutions. Do we see that in the upcoming roadmap, or in phase 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that? Tell us about that.
Um, so that was part of the roadmap presentation. So you should be able to start staking in about August through Sahal, as well as the web app itself.
So this is more of a business question. We will have a detailed discussion about the business roadmap in a later session. But
This is
yes,
short.
once we have a wealth products ready, which is like the liquidity harvester version 1, version 2, there is a lot of partnerships done in the backend. There are a lot of partnerships waiting to be done that will actually capture all of this together. Obviously, because DeFi is an unregulated space, we need to have a regulatory cover in order to offer products to financial institutions. So this is where exactly our risk and governance team is working on.
Mhm.
So yeah, more details of it. I mean, it's not the right time to discuss as well, because nothing is set in stone. As time
Mhm.
goes on, we'll have more details about it coming out.
Okay. Next question. Insurances. Are we thinking of, because insurance in crypto right now is a new product, is a new conversation, and insurance itself is a very interesting product in Islamic finance world. Is that something we're looking at, or no? What does that look like for us?
Um,
When we started initially, we did do a little bit of research on the insurance aspect. Obviously, when we are talking about DeFi, you're talking about non-custodialship of assets, which makes cooperative insurance or takaful as a very um, as a very different thing to achieve on. So we actually left it for later phases. So that's why you don't see insurance as part of a phase 1 and phase 2 roadmap as well.
Hmm.
So I mean, we will go back to that conversation once we deliver our current line of roadmaps. I mean, with every passing day, we do come up internally as well with a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
We cannot develop everything at once. First of
Yeah.
all, we need to finish our existing roadmap, deliver our promises that we have made to the community, because that is why they have invested in us. The
Hmm.
investment that we received from the community is for the products that are currently there in the roadmap. So that needs to be delivered to fulfill the promises. So beyond that, we will work on more ideas depending on what the market needs. There might be something that I think is very good, but it might not be a need of the market. So obviously, any idea or any new product roadmap requires a lot of market research and feasibility study, and only after that we can say whether we would be working on it or not.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, so this is like a half-baked question, but this came in. Are we considering on reworking the tokenomics or in any sense?
Tokenomics is a continuous process, Ahmed.
Hmm.
And when you're talking about tokenomics, usually people confuse between token metrics and tokenomics, right? So token metrics is something that, like, okay, 1 billion supply, 20% to the community, 15% to the team, 3% to this, 5% to that. So this is not tokenomics. This is token metrics. Token
Hmm.
economics is a continuous process that goes on along with the projects and
Hmm.
along with the new features that are introduced. For example, now we started working on Miro, which is actually not part of the roadmap. But the reason why we pushed it inside is because this was the need of the situation. Most of our issues that we have currently within the DeFi ecosystem will be addressed by a halal staking program. So that's where Miro got introduced. Obviously, to accommodate Miro, we have to rework on the economics that we had simulated initially for the next 8 to 10 years.
Hmm.
So obviously, like, when new products are developed, we need to simulate the data again. It's just not sitting on an Excel sheet and working on some numbers. There is a lot of effort that goes into that. And in short, tokenomics is an ongoing process, and that will continue going on with as the projects get released. Denise, maybe you
Oh,
can add your thoughts to it.
yeah, I mean, I think we can safely say the total supply won't change. That's always going to be 1 billion. What may change is we may introduce stuff like burning mechanisms, but I don't foresee this happening because our supply is the correct amount, 1 billion, and it will always stay as 1 billion. If there is a need for burning or if there is a need to mint an additional token, then as in like a derivative, like another version of based off the MRHB current token, not to increase the supply, then there will be plenty of explanation if such decisions are taken. But right now, we don't have no such decisions to increase supply, to introduce new tokens. It's just, it is what it is. 1 billion MRHB, that's ever going to exist. I mean, if you look at the token contract itself, there is no minting function. There is no way to adjust the current token itself.
Got it. Okay. Janice, a question for you. You're wearing an Arsenal shirt. Do you feel ashamed?
No. We're gonna get there. We're coming back slowly. It's a young team.
Okay, I just have to throw that out there because you guys aren't doing that good this year. Okay. Next, I think we'll keep this as a last question before I kind of give both of you guys a quick 1 minute to end off the show. This is a question I think I can answer very quickly. Is there a plan to introduce feature of custom tokens? If yes, will it be possible to filter all token projects people want to add into their wallets? I believe the answer to this would be no, because then you can add any token to the Sahal wallet, and Sahal wallet is specific to all tokens that are permissible when it comes to ethical, interest-free, and halal. So we do not have a custom token add feature. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, Denise. Did you guys make a change in
Yeah, that's
plan?
correct.
Okay,
No,
so
Currently
no
correct,
custom token.
yes. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a yes because that's something else. Okay, so Nakib, Denise, you guys, Denise, I'll let you go. Do you have any one? You have 1 minute. Any last few words about the product roadmap? Anything you want to tell the community? There's gonna be probably hundreds, if not thousands, of people watching this.
Just one thing to bear in mind: it's not just related to MRHB, just not financial advice, but just advice in general. Buy when there's fear. Don't buy when we're going up.
Okay.
So
And right now,
that's one thing to keep in mind.
fear is at 80%. So
Yeah.
good. That was less than 1 minute. I love it. Nakib, how about you?
No, I mean, again, somebody said, yes, as young as MRSB, future is bright. Yes, we are young. We are just a 4-month-old startup. And usually the crypto industry recently has been experiencing such wide sways that either people expect the excess that you never even studied in your school. I mean, that kind of mathematics I I did not study as well. So this if you're getting into crypto for this, then probably you should refrain from coming in. This
Mm.
is not a place for people who don't want to educate themselves. Like, this is a statement on your face. It might be rude for certain people, but this is a fact. I mean, you need to educate yourself into what you're getting into. You need to train yourself into what you're doing. Otherwise, I mean, okay, no, just listening to some Tom, Dick, and Harry uh, and getting into something and putting your savings, sometimes even life savings. Because, for example, in the last 2 weeks, one of the tokens that crashed, people committed suicides. This is crazy. So this should not happen. So, like, I have learned. I follow a lot the videos of Andres Antonopoulos, and he always says this, that, I mean, invest what you can afford to lose. So this is what I'll say for everything as well. And whenever you are trying to get into some project, trying to support any project, trying to rip off any project as well, make sure you're educated. I mean, even if you are criticizing, make sure that your grounds are clear. Otherwise, you'll be back ripped off. So,
Yeah.
and even if you are supporting some project, make sure your grounds are clear. You understand the potential, you understand the project, you understand the technicalities behind it. I have personally, like, I'm part of many early stage projects that I invested in the last few years. Many of them have been stable since the last 9-10 months as well, like 5%, 6% of difference in the token value. But that's it. I know the potential of those projects. I know they will do well. But if we are expecting to get into something and like overnight we wake up being a billionaire, that will not happen. That will never happen.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Fantastic. All right, my 1 minute, very quickly, guys. I'm just gonna say to Marhaba. We are at different events this week, and we're at many events also next week and the week after. We will be participating in many other events after, representing Marhaba, networking for you guys at these events, and also building some really strong partnerships for the potential of, having strategic partnership, international, global partnerships. We need ambassadors or stuff like that. And today I met actually a few people who are really interested in taking Marhaba at a global stance to different countries. I won't name more because nothing has been signed, but there's a lot of things that are happening. So stay excited, think about it in the future, and to kind of echo what Nakib said, the education aspect of it. I was at these events, and I will be at many events, and I went to previous events. You will see projects that are genuinely trying to fix a problem in Web 2.0, using Web 3.0 with 5G and XYZ. But then you'll still see those projects which are built upon the concept of hype and just meme based, and they're also spending the same amount of money to get their name out there. So it's on you to really understand what is valuable for the future and what you want to stand beside, and either invest in or just learn about. But yeah, that's about it, guys. This was the live. Take care of yourself and keep us in your prayers, and always stay with us in the future discussions, because we're gonna do many more lives. Take care of yourself. Like, share, subscribe. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.